Hello, ladies and jelly spoons. Welcome to episode 10 of
Episode
the
10?
Behind the Medal podcast.
Double figures with me, Gary Damer.
And with me, Dean Smith. Double figures, man.
Yeah.
How do we have enough to... Well, you can barely count to 10, never mind 10 episodes.
Well, we do talk an awful lot of shit, so it's not that surprising.
Awful lot of shit. Hold tight for this very short warning. Warning! Warning! This episode contains swearing. So, if you don't like words any stronger than
Spanner
or
Ragamuffin.
then maybe this podcast isn't for you.
Okay, settle down for the first game. Eyes down for a full house. Get your dabbers out and let's tickle those balls.
Dean Gary. Gary and Dean, chatting along in a new podcast. Gary and Dean, and Gary's got hairy hands.
We run around and see the world. Triathlon tales, Dean's hair is curled. We talk some shit and play some games.
For legal reasons, some names are changed. Oh, sorry. Gary and Dean, chatting along on a new podcast.
Gary and Dean, you won't get this time back. Episode 10.
Episode 10.
We've made double figures. Feels like number 10 feels like a milestone.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Who'd have thought when we were sat here a couple of months ago that we would ever have made it this far?
Well, can I let the listeners into a little
Do it.
behind the scenes? Well, when we first recorded the very first episode, we sort of did it by accident, didn't we? Because I brought all the gear around to yours,
Yeah.
and we just said we'll test it and just see if everything works and our setup and the way.
Yeah.
And then before we knew it, we'd recorded episode 1.
Yeah, we didn't really know what we were doing. We still don't.
No, we definitely don't.
We didn't really know how to record or anything, so we thought we'll just have a blast. And then we liked the product and stuck it out, and so did you guys, so we've carried on.
Yeah, and here we are 10 weeks later.
10 weeks later. That's actually quite a nice metaphor, I think, for how we ended up going to Chicago, which is what we're
Nice.
going to talk about today. Gary, in episode 1, talks about him running around Heaton Park. I was doing a few little jogs to and from various sets that I was working on, and we ended up doing marathons and carrying on doing that. Chicago rolled around, and that's a big one, isn't it? in
Yeah,
the
well,
world calendar.
it's been a while since we've done our sort of exploits chat. The last couple have been interviews and specials and that. So we're going to bring it back to the good old fashioned behind the medal style
Bollocks.
with the Chicago Marathon, one of the world's biggest marathons.
Oh, man. So, 2016.
Is that when it was?
No, we did it in 2017,
Oh.
but we found out we were in 2016, I think. Or
Right.
maybe the start of 2017. But either end of 2016 or start of 2017.
Yeah, I didn't get in.
No.
Right, sorry, have I just ruined the ending?
No, not at all. The ending is we ran the Chicago Marathon. That's not, but we all four of us, myself, Dan, Gary, Caroline, entered the Chicago Marathon through the ballot. The only ballot I've ever got in Chicago Marathon for this one. I was absolutely buzzing. I was buzzing my little head off.
Yeah.
Dan got in as well, if you remember rightly.
Oh,
He
yeah.
eventually ended up deferring his place because he
Yeah.
had a stress fracture on his leg. Do you remember? The mad fuck. But Gary didn't get in, and all of a sudden, this FOMO, this fear of missing out, rushed inside him.
Yeah, because it's so hard to get into the ballot, and because you had got in, I thought it seems a shame to miss this opportunity.
Yeah.
So I found a way that you could buy in through a travel company.
Yeah.
So you pay the travel company. It's a bit more money. So you pay the travel company, and they book your flights and marathon entry.
Is it a lot more money? I thought it was reasonable.
It was reasonable, but it was a bit more dollar than just buying your own marathon entry and flights, because obviously they've got to make some money out of it.
Yeah.
So it costs a bit more doing it that way, but it had to be done. It's just one of those things where the timing was right. I wasn't doing anything at that time.
It's worth it, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Dan had fallen by the wayside, but that was only after we'd booked our accommodation, like we always do. When we go away to these marathons, we always make sure that we have a good few days afterwards
Yeah.
to have a good laugh. So we flew on the Friday morning.
How do you remember this stuff?
Only a couple of years ago, man.
Yeah, but how do you know what like day and time it was? That's fucking mad.
Well, I'll tell you for why in a second. But yeah, we flew on the Friday morning, but because of the time difference, we landed there about midday on the Friday in Chicago, and we were coming back on was it the Wednesday? We had a few days,
Right.
a good few days out there. But if you remember rightly, as we were preparing to go on the Friday, on the Thursday, my granddad died. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And my granddad, obviously a huge part of my life, he died when he was 98. And he was very much the icon of our little group, because he had once told me a story where he'd run a marathon. He was a good runner when he was a kid. He'd run a marathon when he was just out of the army. The only marathon distance he ever ran. And he didn't do any more after that. And I said, why did you not do any more, Granddad? And he said, I came third.
Yeah.
And it just turned him off the idea. So if I can't win it, then I'm not going to do it. So he was obviously a big part of what we used to, how we used to talk whenever Gary and Dan and Caroline used to come around. Granddad would be there, and we'd have a chat about stuff. So automatically this period of my life becomes heightened. So I can remember that it was a Friday.
I feel bad for calling you out on it now. I'd forgotten that.
Don't worry, man. It was. I was always going to speak about it. It was. I remember speaking to my dad about it, obviously my dad's dad, and he was going, make sure you go out to Chicago. And I'd never thought not to go out, because what a way to remember him, by running 26.2 miles on that following Sunday.
Yeah. I think when things like that happen, it can either, I think it can go one or two ways. It can either make you more determined and make it more special, or it can, I guess, sort of really distract you and put you off going and, not wanting to enjoy it, feel bad for enjoying it, that kind of...
Yeah, the guilt that,
Yeah. But no, you would definitely went option A.
Absolutely. There was no way really I was not gonna go, especially because it was a running event. And the first thing I ever did when I had run a race, doesn't matter what length or variety it was, triathlon, whatever, the first thing I would ever do after the event would be go and show my granddad the medal.
Yeah.
So I was like, I've got to do it. I have to go and do it. As part of the race, I obviously you have your bibs and stuff, but I just wrote Grandad like on my arm and on my race number and stuff, just so that in those moments, inevitable moments on a marathon where you're not doing so well, just a little glance down and just reminded myself of what I was running for, I guess, and what. And it was nice to have those memories and that raw emotion to pull me through. That race.
Because they are massively emotional things anyway.
Absolutely they are.
So yeah, it's nice that you did that. When because I don't remember this. When was the funeral? Was there any danger of that being while we were in Chicago, or was that boxed off that you were definitely going to make that?
Yeah, because that was my first question. The funeral to my dad. And the funeral was. It might have even been a couple of weeks later. My granddad wasn't a religious man, so there wasn't a quick turnaround like in the Catholic Church. Right, okay. Quick turnaround. Okay. So yeah, no, that was all fine. But the main thing was just to go out there and do him proud and do something that would we're doing another marathon this Saturday. I will think of Granddad on the way around. I have done every time I've done it. So it felt almost like a nice tribute. If that's the right word.
It was, yeah, because I remember we spoke about him we definitely mentioned him a couple of times. Just doing it for your granddad and that kind of chat. Yeah.
So it was a tough start to the trip, but it certainly didn't dent the enjoyment or certainly the fascination with the distance and the city. But it was a little more low key. Start than what we usually do. Little excited fizzing heads. We still had all of that obviously when we're in Heathrow. But yeah, it started with a slight, enormous tinge of sadness. But there's nothing better than to go away and achieve something like that, to distract you from something like that.
That's the one, yeah. Like I say, it can go two ways, but to have it as a nice distraction and also a comfort the way we run them as well. Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was the backdrop to that one, which I'll probably speak about across the next little while. But we met at Heathrow Airport, and I said to Gary, right, we need to meet at Heathrow. So yeah, we met down in London. But I said to Gary, I found this really fucking cheap car park we can park in.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Fucking hell. It's a bit sketchy, that, wasn't it? What was it, a hotel or something?
Yeah, it was EasyJet. They started doing Easy Hotel now. Do Did you put those two and two together?
No, I don't remember it being easy. Anything to do with easy.
It was an easy hotel that just has a few car parking spaces.
It wasn't easy fucking parking.
Was it? Hell,
Gee, it was like fucking Crystal Maze.
It's like Tetris.
Yeah. I don't know where, like, this car park wasn't massive, really. It was just like a normal hotel car park then, if you like. But they'd fucking used every available space.
Every inch,
to put a car space.
Because I got there a little bit before you, and I went to the reception, and I said, "Oh, all right, mate." Because I'd driven round, I couldn't find anywhere to park. I'd driven round, and I pulled up, and I said, "Hey, mate, I've got 2 car parking spaces booked for me and my pal. Where should we go?" And he didn't seem overly fussed. He didn't check any of my details either, so we could have been anyone.
Yeah.
And he found these 2 car parking spaces. But I mean, at the time I was driving a decent sized car. Your car's usually quite big.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, fucking hell, how are we going to get these into here?
It wasn't easy.
No, was it?
Especially because I'd just driven from Manchester. You know what it's like after a long drive. You're tired, you sweat, stressed because of all the fucking middle lane drivers. And then I had to get my mate Dean to back me into the smallest corner of the fucking car park.
Which also, as I remember rightly, you just parked in like the smoking area.
Yeah, basically, that's what it was. So when I got out of my car, there was about 10 people all huddled round, fucking smoking and throwing the dimps all over it.
That's what you think of your car, dickhead. Yeah. So we... that's how the trip started. Just a little bit of mild panic, leaving our cars somewhere near Heathrow Airport. But we got on the plane, and I love airports and flights and all that. It's so exciting.
I do, but I'm a right worrier, me.
Are you?
Yeah. When it asks you like the 2 or 3 hours before,
yeah,
I give it maximum time.
6.
Yeah. if they say on the ticket get there 3 hours before, mate, I'm at least 4.5 hours there before. I just panic. I think I spent too many years watching that program, Airport or Airplane. Do you remember Jeremy?
Yeah,
Big fat Jeremy running around panicking, chasing people. I think that scarred me.
Yeah.
Jeremy Spake was he called?
Was he Spake?
I think so, yeah.
That's a great memory if that's true.
Yeah. And,
did you have posters of him up in your wall or something?
Yeah.
BFJ.
Big gay Jeremy.
No. So that's scarred you for life now, so you just turn up. You don't want Jeremy chasing after you.
Don't want Jeremy. Well, I kind of do, but not for the reasons of being late for a plane.
Fair enough.
What am I talking about? Cut that.
Nope. So the flight, 8 hours was it, something like that? We had, if you remember, we had little computers in front of us. You know, the long haul flights.
Oh yeah.
We watched a few films, but mainly what we did was they have a little messaging function on it. So we were sending each other messages because we were sat in front of Gary was sat in front of me.
So childish.
So childish. Like, hey, take your trousers off.
Yeah.
Imagine if that had gone to someone who wasn't us.
The wrong seat.
Oh.
What are you wearing?
Fucking 30 years old.
It's tough when you're going out there for a marathon because you can't like drink or anything like that. So a long haul flight becomes really tough where you're sort of trying to watch what you eat and drink.
Yeah, trying to sleep as well.
Just trying to get all the rest you can, and I just don't. I'm not a great flyer, me really. To be honest,
you're not.
No, it's exciting, but 8 hours is too long.
Oh, I quite like the long haul flights. It feels exotic.
It's so boring though.
Yeah, I guess without a drink as well and get a bit silly. So we land there, and we get to the accommodation because originally Dan was coming with us. We booked accommodation for 3.
Oh, it was beautiful.
And it was the most beautiful,
man,
apartment on the corner of this building, Oakwood 200, I believe it was called, in the middle of Chicago.
Yeah,
middle of downtown Chicago. It was gorgeous. But we couldn't check in straight away, so we dumped the bags and go to the expo.
Yes, I can't remember much about the expo. You've just handed it over to me, but I can't.
Well, do you remember the expo had 2 different check-ins because we did a 5K the day after.
Oh yeah.
And then we did the marathon, and we were just speaking before on how much we like. I like expos. I don't buy anything.
No,
cheap cunt.
It's quite nice just to sort of size up the other runners and get the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's just the buzz, isn't it?
Yeah, and they have like DJs on and stuff like that, and it's just a good atmosphere. And sometimes they'll have like pictures of the route and route maps and all that stuff. So it just gives you a little flavour of what's to come, and I think it's as much as part of the event as the training is really.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So if anyone's listening to this going, oh, I've got this race, so I just need to nip to the expo and get it. Nah, give yourself an hour, couple hours, just to soak it in. You know?
Like you say, you probably won't buy anything because it's a lot of it's shit that you shouldn't be buying the day before.
Absolutely,
like trainers. Who buys trainers? What are you doing buying trainers the day before the marathon?
Who are these people going and buying new trainers the day before the marathon?
New running kit scares me. T-shirts. I wouldn't run in a T-shirt that I've bought the day before.
This is a good point. This is a fair point. I've never thought of that.
What are these people doing? Because they buy the event T-shirts, so there'll be Chicago T-shirts on sale. But I think it's the worst idea to run in it.
Big time.
If it's not been washed, it's going to be a little bit stiff. You know, it's going to
you don't know what. You don't know what it's going to do to your nipples. Without putting too fine a point on it. You can run in the wrong gear and it'll rip you to shreds.
I'm too nervous. I'm too much of a worrier for that.
Yeah, fuck that. But you see a lot of people, or certainly, as I remember in Chicago, you'll see a lot of people buying them there and then running with them the next day.
Yeah.
Nah, swerve that.
No way, man. No way.
The only thing I could think of buying from an expo would be gels.
Yeah, the sweet. But even that, if you don't, I guess if you've used them before, maybe. But I wouldn't buy, because what they do is they have the tasters, don't they? So people go, oh, that tastes nice.
Yeah.
I'll buy 6 of them. But it's just so fucking risky. Like, if you've not, my advice would be, if it's new, don't do it.
Yeah.
Not the day before a marathon. It just seems crazy to me.
Absolutely.
Stick with what you know.
Because otherwise it's going to surprise you, and you don't want it to be a negative surprise.
I run in the same shorts that I did 5 years ago.
Yes, well, I've been training in the shorts that I will run in on Saturday. Yeah, absolutely. But we went and did that, and I remember when we got there, just thinking how muggy it was.
Oh, it was so hot.
Well, that first day there wasn't a lot of sun about. On that Friday as we were in and out of the expo, but it was just muggy as fuck. Because I'm a sweater, me.
I'm a sweater.
And we were walking around with our bags and obviously all the gear from the expo that we picked up, and I was just leaking.
Yeah,
I was leaking, bro.
Sweaty backs.
So on that first night, do you remember we went to Little Italy? We snuck down to Little Italy.
Oh yeah, and it felt like we were sat in the naughty corridor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had.
We had date night.
We had proper date night. We got there and we were too excited. We just said how, oh yeah, you're on the flight, looking after what you eat and looking after what you drink. We arrived to Chicago, dumped our bags. We watched a couple of girls having their picture taken with their shirts off. Do you remember, from the balcony of our apartment? I've just been reminded of that.
Yeah, well, there was some kind of porno shoot going on opposite.
In a car park opposite.
Yeah,
that we could see.
I fucking hell forgot about that.
I thought I was hallucinating. I went to the window. I was like, oh, tits.
Yeah, a couple of boobs. That was a good reception.
It was, yeah. Do you think they put that on for us because they knew we were coming?
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, there's those guys from behind the medal. Let's get our tits out.
But no, back to the restaurant. We went to Little Italy. I can't remember what the restaurant was, but a nice big restaurant. They stuck us in this weird corridor, but we got there. Our eyes lit up as we saw the menu. Ordered a bottle of red wine.
Yeah, we did. We got carried away, didn't we?
Yeah, we only had the one though, which isn't like us.
No, but it was really nice, and it was full of couples.
Yeah.
Because normally in places like that, you do see all the marathon runners cabbing up and all that, but it was just a cute little date place, wasn't it?
It was gorgeous. We'd done a bit of research, as we always do, as to where to go and eat, and it said Little Italy for your pizzas. Or did we have? I can't remember what we ate.
Pasta.
Was it?
Yeah.
But yeah, little bottle of red wine.
I forgot about the date night.
Yeah, but that was because it was before the 5K, the international 5K. We didn't have a drink before the actual marathon, but for the 5K, they in Chicago, the day before, the morning before, the Saturday, do a little 5K in around the financial district, which we'd signed up for. We thought it'd be a bit of a laughs, way to stretch our legs after the long flight, etc. So that's what we decided to do.
I can't believe how busy it was. Like there was thousands running it. Normally the breakfast runs are small little fields because people save themselves for the marathon, but it was packed.
When they had people from over 100 countries as well.
Yeah,
they were there doing it.
Great. And then they did. What's good about the runs in America is obviously is it patriotic?
Yeah,
patriotic.
One of the ones.
One of the ones. Like, so it's a big deal. Like,
huge.
Everything's pomp and ceremony. They all sing. Can you please stand for the national anthem? You know, it's one of those, and they have someone wheel someone out to come and sing it, and it's just the whole. experience, and it was great. And then the guys sort of heckling you to come over. Okay, we've got someone from Great Britain now, and you're like,
from the UK. Well, that's what I was going to say. We were doing some spotting on that morning of people, other people from the UK, because obviously international marathon, lots of different people running, mainly Americans. But we were going around going, oh, that person's got an Ireland flag,
because it had the flag on the bib number.
Yeah, on the bib number. And so we spotted a few, but then we spotted one right at the end. Do you remember this, Gary?
I do. This bit I do remember. I remember finishing because I did a stupid dance as I crossed the finish line. Like my legs, there's a photo of me crossing the finish line. My legs were up. I was just fucking acting the goat.
Not like you.
And you were sort of waving, Gary, come over here, come over here. Yeah. Look who it is. And who was it?
It's Paula Radcliffe.
Just stood there.
Just no one was talking to her.
No one,
No one was mithering her. It's the weirdest thing. Look, she's the fastest marathon running woman on the planet that there has ever been.
Yeah.
And no one was paying her any attention.
So obviously, me and you, loudmouths,
straight over.
Hey, Paula.
All right, Paula.
Let's have a photo with you. Come on, then.
Do you remember? Because we got a photo. But do you then remember my first question to her?
Yeah, go on.
All right, Paula. 5K. How did you find it? I asked Paula Radcliffe how she felt that 3 miler was.
Yeah, best interview of her life, that, wasn't it?
Man. She was so gracious, though. She answered and didn't look at me like I was a dick.
Yeah, well, she wasn't running the marathon. She'd done the 5K. She ran the 5K, but she wasn't running the marathon. I think she was there just as like a token.
Well, I think she said it off, didn't she? She was on the gun.
Yeah.
But yeah, just she was so lovely. And it was super weird to be halfway across the world and literally bump into a fellow country lady of ours.
It was just so weird how she was just stood there.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't like normally, if you get like a celebrity doing it, they get involved or they sort of, with a minders or whatever, signing autographs or sort of cheering people on. She was just like leaning against the lamppost.
just hanging out.
Yeah. And then, but after we'd gone up a mile the door, everybody else then cottoned on, didn't they? And started flocking all around her. And we'd done our bit by then. We'd got our photo and fucked off.
Absolutely. Did she do a talk at the expo or something?
She did, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. She was part of the whole thing. She was doing the 5K, starting the 5K. She did some at the expo. I think she started the marathon as well. She was involved in that somehow. She just wasn't running it.
Yeah. But we just bumped into her.
Yeah.
It was so exciting. I was absolutely buzzing.
I love that we just seem to stumble across these really fucking mad things.
Yeah.
Stumbled across the fastest woman in the world across the other side of the world.
You starting the Great North Run with Mo Farah.
Great.
Yeah.
Couple of idiots.
Couple of fucking idiots. Okay, so the race day, after the excitement of Paula and the 5K, the day after became the race day. What do you remember about the start of the race day, Gary?
When we did the 5K, it was really hot.
Yeah, super
really,
hot.
really hot. But then for the marathon, because again, as with New York Marathon, we had to get there so early because of security and all that business. It was freezing.
So cold.
Oh, man.
If I remember rightly, we were there, we'd set off from our apartment on the hour of 5. So
Yeah,
it was,
well, there's a photo of us getting into this sort of start area and it's pitch black.
Yeah.
It's still like the sun's not even up, but it was just because underprepared, really, I guess. I was just in a vest and shorts.
Yeah, so was I,
Yeah, bad prep.
Yeah, but I don't know, you're always going to warm up, aren't you? So it's
but when you stood around waiting for the start, because I can't remember how long we were sort of hanging around waiting for.
Good couple of hours, if I remember rightly, because they were talking about how the queues to get through security were going to be very large. But by the time we'd got there, it wasn't very.
Right.
We bowled pretty much straight in and then dropped the bags off at the bag drop. And then we were just sat around, really, eating bananas and chewing the shit for a couple of hours, if I remember rightly. I think that's correct.
Because it is a long thing, isn't it, really, when you think about it? And food, I always struggle with food. Like, by the time I come to actually start, I'm always starving.
Yeah, well, didn't we'd stopped at a 7-Eleven and got, or Dunkin' Donuts or whatever, which are on every fucking corner.
Yeah, it'd be Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah. And they never seem to shut.
Yeah. Need them donuts, mate.
Yeah.
24/7. So yeah, we'd done that, and then just as we were in our start waves, and just as we were about to start, the sun had come up.
Oh, mate.
And as soon as it hit your back, it was, okay, this is going to be a warm one. This is going to be a really, really warm one.
Well, the high was 28 degrees.
Yeah.
28 fucking degrees, mate. I've mentioned this before, but I'm ginger.
Yeah, what?
That's like the sun.
That's the boiling point of gingers.
Oh my God,
That's the melting point.
So hot.
And so to put this into context, start the run at 9 o'clock in the morning. So it's not that hot at that time. It's still very, very warm, but you're running 4 hours ish. And so by the time you're crossing the finish line, 1 o'clock, it is boiling. The sun is right at the top of its fucking arc in the sky.
Yeah, it was really tough. It was such a tough run. I was all right up until probably about 17, 18 miles. And then I was just drained of any kind of energy. It felt like I'd not trained because I was just all over the gaff.
Yeah.
The last stretch coming home was just tough, man. It was so hot. I think is my worst. Oh no, because rain.
Weather. Being outside.
Weather is my biggest foe.
It was a tough one. The course, as I remember, was lovely. Yeah. Because there wasn't a long, too many long and straight bits. You were constantly sort of cutting in and around different parts of the city. You run through Chinatown. There was a big display on in Chinatown. You run through like Harlem and all these different places which were fabulous, and they had lots of local entertainment out and stuff.
Was brilliant.
Chicago's a fabulous place, man.
Great, man.
Fabulous place.
And there's loads of sights to see. Because I didn't know too much about Chicago before going over there, but when you're there, like you say, every corner there's something great to look at.
Yeah, something going on. Absolutely.
Because when people think New York, theaters and high-rise buildings, and Chicago's just as good, man.
It's got it all. It's got it all there. But I was exactly the same as you. My training had been decent for Chicago. I set off. Here's something that'll surprise you. Too quick. I got fucking dead giddy because we were off, and I started too quick. But at about mile 16 or 17, maybe even a little bit later, I was on for about a 3:30 finish.
Fucking hell.
Which is I've done slightly quicker than that, but my other ones are usually a little bit slower than that. I'm more sort of 3:40, 3:45. But that I was going great guns. I was going fabulous guns. And then as soon as that temperature started to just click up, just cramping all over the place. Yeah. I was taking on fluids, and as soon as I took on any fluids, I needed more fluid. I couldn't hydrate quick enough for what the course required me to do. And my pace just dropped incredibly so. I think the last few I was going at about 11-minute mile paces. Yeah. There's barely walking, do you know?
I know. I think I was slower than that, to be honest. My last couple of miles, but it was quite scary as well, because when it gets that hot, it all becomes really dramatic, where you start to see like bodies littered at the side of the road
and hearing ambulances
whizzing past, and the marshals sort of get a bit heightened and a bit stressed. Move to the left of the road, and then an ambulance will come flying by, and it just sort of nails home the drama of what you're doing and how dangerous it can be, I guess.
There was a bit, I don't know if, I'm presuming you passed it as well, where the Chicago Fire Department had had two fire trucks.
Yeah.
And normally they put them in a plate, they put the hoses on so that there's a spray of water. Normally they put them on so that it's optional to go through, but the marshals were making you go through it. Just to get some water onto your head, onto your neck, to pull your temperature down. Because for anyone running in that heat, it's tough. But people who aren't used to it, like myself and Gary, training in fucking north of England, it can be very dangerous, by the way.
But regardless, we still both finished.
Yep.
And what was great about this one, because it had the marathon tracker app.
Yes.
So I think it was Dan back home was Caroline and a few of my mates and family were tracking us as well. But Dan specifically was tracking us, and he'd been texting us while we were running, just going, "You guys are so fucking close to each other."
Mental.
And what you can do after the end of the marathon, you can replay the trackers so they moves around. You were so close in front of me. I wish I'd have seen you, because it'd have got that. I'd have been what I needed.
I think for those last sort of 2 or 3 miles, it was a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
That I was in front of you.
I finished 4 hours 11.
Yeah, and I was 4:04.
Which is mad. I love how we do this. How do we keep doing that? Like, it's It's so weird how we finished so tight together.
I know, yeah.
It's fucking great. You know, when you look at all the scenarios and all the situations that what we go through,
Yeah.
for us still to finish within that 5 or 6 minutes,
It's mental, isn't
it's
it?
fucking brilliant.
Well, as well, one of the big things about the end of the Chicago Marathon, and everyone we spoke to was talking about this hill. Do you remember people talking about the hill at the end? It's such a flat marathon, and then right at the end, people were saying, "Oh, just beware of this hill at the end." And I'm thinking, "Oh shit, what is this hill? What do they mean a hill? I'm expecting Ben Nevis." And we turned the final bit. What's that street called?
I don't know.
But it's a very long street, sort of on the edge of the city, near the lake. And it wasn't there, and I couldn't find it. I was like, "What the fuck?" It's literally about 200 yards of like a little tiny bit of a steep incline.
Yeah, but I'm the other way because I saw it and I was like, "Oh my, you've got to be fucking kidding me!"
Really?
Yeah. Because it's like a ramp in it. It wasn't. It's not a hill by any stretch of the imagination.
It's like a slip road, yeah.
But it was right, just because it's right at the end. I think everyone sort of turns that corner, and you can see the finish line in the distance.
Yeah.
But it is at the end of this little ramp. I was like, "Are you fucking? You gotta be kidding me!"
I was buzzing. I was like, "This is the hill." I train on the Pennines, me. This isn't a hill.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call a wanker.
But I thought because the way people spoke about it, I thought it was going to.
Yeah, they definitely made it sound more dramatic. But I think just because of where it is, I think that's all. If that had been at the start, I'd have gone, no, I didn't notice it. But just because it's at the finish sort of run.
Yeah.
But also, we should add, it's been a while, but this is the return of bodily functions.
Ting.
I was so sick.
So ill, yeah.
I think it was the heat, that one.
Take your pick, mate. It's the heat. It's a long way. You're out for 4 hours.
What was great about that one, it finished in the park, didn't it? Wherever it was. There was such a great atmosphere. Was the bands on and stuff? Or?
Yeah, there was a funk band on playing Raker, Nile Rodgers and all sorts of stuff. Yeah,
God, and I was so annoyed that I couldn't even lift my head up.
Yeah.
And I had like a bag of ice, put that on my head to try and bring my temperature down.
Because the wardens had spotted people really struggling afterwards, hadn't they? So they just imported all this ice.
Yeah.
And so we went over and grabbed you some ice, didn't we? Yeah.
I just couldn't stop being sick.
Yeah.
Like every time I stood up, every time I moved my head, that's when I was sick. And again, because it's stupid, isn't it? Really, because it's nothing. You can't be helped. But at times like that, considering where we were, I'm just kind of thinking, oh fucking hell, I'm ruining this now for Dean. He just wants to. Do you know what I mean? And I kind of want to shake myself to go, right, stop being sick now. Do you know what I mean? You've had your thing, let's just fucking get on with it. But instead I just spend another hour dry heaving.
Well, mate, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. You know what I mean? It's not like you've run for a bus. Do you know what I mean? It's 4 hours worth of stuff.
Yeah, in 28 degrees.
Yeah. So we finished the marathon. I crossed the finish line. Having been staring at this writing on my left arm saying "Grandad" for the whole thing, and just burst into tears on the finish line, as I normally do, to be honest. But this one was even bigger. And this American guy comes over to me and puts his arm around me. He goes, "You did it, man! You did it!" And I was going, "Oh, that's for my granddad. He died on Thursday." And he literally spun me around. You know, American positivity and all of this stuff. They spun me around, staring right into my fucking eyes, and he went, "You did that for him, man. He saw every step." And I'm going, "Don't, man!" My head was leaking big time.
That's giving me little chills there. That's awesome.
Man. He was great. He just finished as well. He literally pulled up alongside me.
It's still about the accent as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You wouldn't get that if you did the Manchester one, right? It's doesn't have, mate, you've done it for him, every step. Doesn't quite have the same.
I know, yeah. I'd probably throw in my wallet. Okay, but then we carried on walking. We got some water and me and this dude, and we got our medals. And then he said, "Here, right, give me your phone. Give me your phone." And he stood me with the Chicago backdrop behind me, all the buildings and stuff, and took a photo of me with the medal, which is just great. A nice little end to the thing.
Yeah, had he run it? Yeah,
he'd run it. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And then I carried on a little bit further to where they let you stop. We've spoken before about how they want to keep you moving.
Yeah.
So they let me stop. I had a banana and some energy drinks, and so I started to stretch out, thinking Gary will come-ish near here. And I heard this slump next to me, and it was you.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Because it was. If I say it's what I was expecting, don't take that the wrong way. But just because of the heat, I thought he might have been in trouble here.
And I knew when we did that 5K the day before the marathon, I knew it was going to be tough because of the heat, because I'm just not built for that. I've got little Irish skin, you know what I mean? It's not.
But getting you right was the priority, you know, making sure we got that ice, getting some fluids into you. Just because there's a party doesn't mean you have to go.
Yeah, it took a while though to get level again after that one.
Yeah, we ended up getting someone from the first aiders over. Do you remember we got that girl over to have a little just check?
Yeah.
And she was happy with his vitals and everything.
We just sort of retired, didn't we? After that, did we have a nap?
Well, before then, what happened was on the number, on your marathon number, in the corner there was a little tear off bit. Do you remember that? You tear it off and you got a 3 pint of Goose IPA, which is the Chicago brewery. Yeah. So I was feeling all right at this point. Obviously stretched out, took a load of water on. So I was like, rip. Yeah. Went over to the bar. I left you sweating and throwing up, and thought, I'm gonna have a little drink here. The bar lady was like, "Oh my God, you from England?" And she just gave me one free. So I ended up having 3 beers because I had yours as well.
Right, yeah. I was laying the fetal position on the floor being sick, and Dean's little grabby hands trying to get me race number. Trying to rip it off.
Anything for a freebie. Kicking the fuck out of you for 50p. But yeah, so we stuck around there for a little bit, just until we could move.
A couple of hours later, we were in Hooters.
We went straight to Hooters. so fucking touristy, isn't it?
It's fucking brilliant. We had some lovely chicken wings in Hooters, yeah. And what was great, because we were in Hooters, and I think did I tweet a photo or something?
Yeah.
And a mate of mine tweeted back, just said, "Have you just done Chicago Marathon?" And I said, "Yeah." And he went, "Me too." And within about 10 minutes, he was sat with us, him and his wife.
It was great.
Yeah, Steve came and joined us in Hooters. It's fucking brilliant. Even, I know it's not as good as Paul Radcliffe, but just the fact that we're over there in America, 8 hours away, and just gone,
it's mad, isn't it?
Let's go for a beer in Hooters.
Yeah. And Scott as well, Cunliffe. We were on the same course.
Oh, yeah.
Scott did the Chicago Marathon the same time.
Same
Obviously,
year.
we didn't know him, but if we had done, we'd have met up with him, and just being so far away from home, just with that little bit of home, just feels
A little bit
special,
home.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, I remember as a kid, whenever we were walking around when me and mum and dad and everyone used to go out into Europe, if you saw anyone with a Leeds United kit on, I would just be like, "Oh my God, there's more of us around the world."
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things, isn't it?
It does,
Spotting
because
people.
even similar to that, when you go abroad, and obviously I'm a United fan, if you see a City, you just go, Manchester.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter when you're over there. You're just like, oh, Manchester.
Well, it's like what you said in the New York Marathon Canal Street sign.
Yeah.
Or here in Oasis, you go, this is where I'm from.
Even if I see a Yorkshire flag, I go, that'll do. I'll take that.
Close enough.
Do you like to relax? Well, you're in luck. Here at Secret Simon's Silent Yoga Retreat, we've got fucking fuckloads of ways to help you relax. Bubble wrap popping sessions. Oh, we've got bean bags. Loads of colourful bean bags you can sit on, and group masturbation sessions. Oh, and they're not run by Karen anymore either, the selfish bitch. Not after we found 2 stress balls in her arsehole. Free coat hangers for every customer too. Come stay for a day, stay for 2 days, stay for a fucking fortnight if you want. Just come and see us. I just want to relax. We're next door to Castleford Airhorn Factory, Junction 28 at the M62. Fucking shut up! Secret Simon's Silent Yoga Retreat for all your relaxing needs.
But I think after the marathon, and after we'd relaxed into the fact that this was now a holiday, we really found out what Chicago was all about, I think.
Mate, what a fucking great place.
The live music in Chicago
Everywhere.
is everywhere.
Yeah.
And it is out of this world.
Yeah. We went to one restaurant, and I can't remember what it was called, but they had like a fucking, pretty much like a full orchestra, didn't they, in this tiny little stage? Do you remember that guy?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Was it just brass, or I felt like they had everything, like cellos and all that, and double bass?
Yeah, it was all. They were playing jazz.
Yeah.
But it was huge. I think it was 16 piece.
In a tiny little gaff,
Tiny
and
gaff.
it sounded amazing.
Yeah.
And it just brilliant. What a great town. And this was like, what would have been Sunday night, Monday night?
Yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant.
But the one thing that I'll always remember from that trip is when we were walking down to a bar, we were just having a little explore, and we passed down by the river. We passed this little tiny restaurant again, and there was that woman singing. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, by the Riverwalk.
Down by the Riverwalk, yeah.
Yeah.
She had a fantastic voice. There was a double bassist playing next to her, guy on a guitar. The sun was setting down behind fucking Trump Tower.
Yeah.
And we were sat there listening to her. There was people milling around. Oh my God, it was so atmospheric. It was so beautiful.
It was, wasn't it? It really, really was. I've got an awesome photo of that as well.
Yeah.
Of that sort of view of the Riverwalk. My sister's going, I was just telling Dino this off air, my sister's going next month in May. So she's been like sort of hunting me down for recommendations. And what I was doing was looking through my photos to sort of like remind me of where we went. And just such a great trip.
Amazing.
Yeah, really beautiful, picturesque place. And we did go to some amazing places.
Amazing places. So we've got a few written down here. We went to Dick's Last Resort Bar.
Yeah. We stumbled across this. We didn't know what it was.
But again, from the river, we could see the sign that said Dick's.
Dick's.
And we
said,
went,
right,
we've got to go in there.
Yeah. So we go in there, and I'd seen it not that long before online. I saw a video on the line, but I hadn't put two and two together that that's where it was. Basically, the staff are just rude to you. They just insult you.
They slag you off, yeah.
Just slag you off. And it's just stupid, isn't it? Like, there was a family in there, and they all wear the big white hats, and the waiters write stuff on them. Oh, yeah. And the waiter, she was only, how old was she? About 10, this kid.
Yeah, if that, yeah.
And he'd wrote on it, future stripper.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
When do you remember he came over to me and to get our drinks order? I went, I think I'll have a pina colada, mate, because the sun was going down. He went, you're not fucking having that.
Yeah. I am not getting you one of those.
Started slagging us off. It was great fun. Yeah, such a random theme bar, though. Just going to get slagged off for a bit.
Yeah, why not, though?
Yeah, well, absolutely, why not?
So we went there. Where else did we go?
We decided on the last night before coming home that we were going to have some steak. And so we did some research into where, because Chicago is known for its meat, for its steak. And so we researched somewhere to go eat some steak. And it wasn't that far away from where we were staying. And we went down there, and oh my God.
Still to this day, it is the best thing I've ever put in my mouth. Make of that what you will, but it was fucking amazing.
I agree. It was just incredible. The whole experience was though as well. We had this waiter came down, this super fucking cool guy, Chicago guy.
Old guy,
yeah. Well, he'd been 70. Maybe.
Yeah, probably. Shuffling over.
Yeah.
It was like he almost didn't care, but at the same time, he cared so much. You know what I mean? Everything was like half-assed, but like nailed on. And they bring over, like, we said we're going to have steak. And he brings over this massive platter of meat, and he picks up each piece of meat and he tells you what it is, how it's been stored, how it's been treated,
how it's been fed.
Oh, yeah.
And we choose the same?
I think we
one?
did, yeah.
But it was dear. It's the most I've fucking ever spent on a piece of meat in my life.
Worth it though.
Every bit, it was worth it. It was gorgeous. He was wearing a Dickie bow.
Yeah.
It was just sensational. Yeah, and that was, what was that place called? I've got it written down here.
Harry Carey's.
Harry Carey's Italian Steakhouse, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just, it was amazing.
And
my mouth's watering, yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I love that it's just the steak as well. You pay, and then you have to add on like your potatoes.
Yeah, man.
I think we just got a steak and a bowl of mashed potato, didn't we?
No, it was loaded baked potato.
Oh,
things.
was that what it was?
Do you remember? Yeah.
Right.
Which we largely ignored because of all this meat that was going on. It was dear. A couple of bottles of red wine as well.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, it was fucking great.
Oh, now fucking holidays, aren't we? For Christ's sake.
Another food thing as well, the pizzas.
Giordano's.
Oh my good grief.
Yeah. And what made me laugh about that is because Chicago, I think you say it's known for its meat. It's known for its pizza, and it's Chicago pizza.
Yeah.
We got into this restaurant. I was told by a friend that's where the place to go is.
Yeah.
So we went there and it was hammered.
Oh,
like
heaving.
It was packed. So you queue up and they say, it's going to be like 45 minutes.
Yep.
And people fuming, going, oh my God, this is unbelievable. And you're like, fucking hell, like,
busiest fucking pizzeria in the gaff.
Yeah, you're going to wait a bit, aren't you? So anyway, we waited.
And also, there's a bar there. Get a fucking beer.
Yeah. So that's what we did. Dived in the bar. The menu, from what I remember, isn't that big. I think there's just like a choice of about 4 pizzas, but they're like those big pizza pies, and they cook them fresh. So it takes you a while to get a table, and when you get your table, it takes a while for them to do it, to make it, because it's cooked fresh. It's a pizza pie. It needs, excuse me, it needs some time in the fucking oven. So, oh God, it's the best thing. It was so cheesy.
I've never not finished a pizza before, but it was impossible.
Yeah, we took it home, didn't we?
Well, because I think, which remember that was it. The waitress came over and said, "What can I get you guys?" And we ordered one each, and she looked at us like we were nuts. And I was thinking, fucking get the pizza, love. What's wrong with you? But when it came, I realised why. And just, I think 2 slices of this stuff, and I was dead. I was out.
So big. But amazing, though. Like, so good. And again, just something like that, because there was a woman next to the table, on the table next to us. Do you remember kicking off, going,
yeah,
we've been waiting 20 minutes for this pizza. And it's like, yeah, all right, love. Do you want to get one from fucking Tesco any quicker? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And these bad boys are cooking for a packed restaurant, mind. This is unbelievable.
People will complain about anything.
Yeah, will they? Oh, lovely pizza.
Fantabulous pizza. The place, though.
Giordano's.
Yeah, Giordano's. Absolutely. I think it's a little bit... I think it's a chain now, isn't it? There's a couple that they've sprung up, but that was the original.
Oh, what you can do is you can order them.
Can you?
Yeah. So we could order one now. They'd fly it over here.
Fuck off. Serious?
Yeah. Honest to Ken Dodd, yeah. They freeze it, fly it over, and then you bang it in the oven.
I might have to try that.
It's daylight. I've checked it out. Yeah, I can't remember how much, but you have to pay a lot.
You hung over thinking I could do this by this afternoon.
Yeah.
But last but by very no means least, with regards to eateries and drinkeries, we'd done a bit of research, like we say, and we decided on the night of the marathon, we're going to have a Hooters, have a few Brittany's, a few beers, and then go to this bar, which said it had dueling pianos. And we thought, what does this mean?
Yeah.
And so we turn up there. It only opened at 9 o'clock. We were like the first in. We got a lovely table, and then it started, didn't it?
Mate, I feel like everything I'm saying about Chicago is the best this, the best that. It was called Howl at the Moon, this place, we should say. It was fucking brilliant.
Incredible.
So much fun. So basically, the premise is you sit at your table. There's obviously waiters, there's a bar, you can get food, blah, blah, blah. But the point is, they have a stage, and they have a rake of musicians, 4 or 5 musicians on the stage, and you write requests down.
Yep.
And you go and give them your request. They fiddle about it, and then they play the song. And it's fucking brilliant.
They've got 2 pianos facing each other. They've got drums behind. They've got guitars, bass.
They had everything.
Everything there.
She bought out one of those violins at one point because I think someone asked for "Come on, Eileen."
Yeah, they did.
So she went, got a violin out, and fucking just carried on.
The recall and the talent these people had was just insane, man.
Yeah, but it was done really well because it wasn't like they had a laugh with it as well, didn't they?
It wasn't like, look at what we can do. It was more like, let's get the fucking party started.
Yeah. So when, for example, when she was doing Come on Eileen, she was up on the piano, she was jumping about.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. And we spent a fortune in there, didn't we? Because we ended up fucking going back in there every night.
Every night.
Yeah.
Well, we obviously would venture out and go to other bars, Dick's Last Resort, go for this, that, and the other. But when we knew that, A, quite close to where we were staying, but also B, the fucking laugh that we had in there.
Yeah.
We thought, let's go back there.
Guaranteed atmosphere.
Oh, man.
The dance floor was packed of everyone just putting these requests in and getting up and dancing. And it was brilliant. However, when was this story that we were about to say? Was this?
I think it was the final night.
The final night.
But also, it was the same night where we'd had a shed load to drink, and they came over and said to us, "Oh, do you want to? Can you pay for your beers now?" And you put it on your card for some reason, even though we were stood there covered in cash.
Yeah, I was fucking pissed off. Just throwing it on the card like I was back in Wetherspoons.
Big money baller. But we'd only asked for the bill after.
Oh, so we were sat on like one of the poser tables, the big tall tables.
The same table we sat on every night.
Yeah.
Because we're creatures of habit.
Yeah. Sat on stools. And I'm going to do it from my point of view first of all. So I remember sitting there and I was watching and having a lovely time. And then the next thing I know, I sort of went, oh, And then I realised I'd been asleep for about 5 or 10 minutes, just completely got my head down. Looked over at me mate Dean.
Oh, God. Snoring.
Dean's fucking got his head down, drooling everywhere. I love that we both sat in the middle of a bar, just got our heads down, just fell asleep.
I remember it exactly the same way, to be fair. I remember we were chatting, having a lovely time. We were halfway down your vodka lemonade, my gin and tonic, and then just stopped talking. And then the next day, I remember I watched you jolt yourself awake and went, "Oh shit, I was just asleep as well."
Because it makes me laugh. A couple of podcasts ago, we were shelling Dan falling asleep during a Basement Jack's gig, and there's us like in the middle of a bar. You do get thrown out for that shit over here in Wetherspoons, don't you? Just getting a couple of Zeds.
So, but I don't think we mentioned it at the time. I think we paid the bill, shuffled home, and then the next day we're like, "Did you fall asleep in there?"
Yeah, because it was just one of those realizations going, how long was I just asleep for?
Yeah, could have been an hour.
Could have been, yeah.
Asleep straight up in our chairs.
We'd had a busy weekend.
Yeah, we'd been doing stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I did want to mention, I don't know, this must have been the same day when we went up to that, is it Chicago 360?
Oh, yeah.
So basically...
is it called... It's Chicago 360, but then we went on Tilt.
Yeah, the Tilt's like the ride experience kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's basically it's a massive building. You go all the way up to the top, and it's really cool. It's sort of, you lean against the glass and it tilts you over the edge.
Ooh, yeah.
So you can get like a bird's eye view of below, and it's quite cool. And you get a free drink with the ticket, with the entry to the ticket. So we'd gone up. We'd had the beer before we went on the ride.
Yeah, we had, because you go up there and it's Chicago 360, so as well as this tilt area where you lean over the streets of Chicago, you can also walk all the way around the building, and there's big glass windows, and next to the glass windows there are computer screens showing you what you're seeing, telling you what you're looking over the Great Lakes and over towards.
Right, so we were having the drink while we were walking around this 360.
walking around learning,
And it was the first drink of the day. I went fucking beetroot red. I was pissed out of my head, me.
I was hammered. I kept on trying people's hats on, remember?
Was that the altitude or what was that?
Altitude. We were up fucking few flights of stairs, man.
So, Dean, it's been a while, but it's time for your quiz.
I think the last time we played, I got a point.
You did. You got a point.
I'm on a roll, bitches.
And also, just FYI, this is probably going to be the last one.
Okay.
Because I've absolutely bled the internet dry of weird facts.
But there are no more questions left in the world.
There are no more questions that I care about the answers to.
Okay, fine.
There's plenty of other questions, but none that I find entertaining.
All right, fine.
So this is it. This is your last chance to score 2 points.
Wow.
So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Question number 1. In Arizona, in America, you can't have more than 2 of what in a house?
Prostitutes.
No, dildos. Right, but it's interesting you should say that because any more than 2 dildos in a house is legally considered a brothel.
Serious?
Yeah. I don't know why though, because like you're not charging for the dildo, are you?
Well, how is that policed as well?
Good question.
Is it like, you know, when you get a pet, you have to sign to say that you will look after the pet?
Yeah, maybe. If you have, you have to cut the heads off it if you get more than. Right, question number 2. Yeah. In the UK, every 12 seconds, someone does what in a Holiday Inn?
Oh, God. Blocks the toilet.
No, steals a towel.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Have you ever stole a towel?
Oh, I absolutely. Yeah,
Absolutely. What's the biggest thing you've stolen from a hotel?
Oh, God.
It's got to be dressing gowns and all that shit, innit?
Yeah, probably.
Kettle?
No.
No, okay. Batteries out the remote?
No, never done that. Never thought of that. Next time.
Tight Yorkshire bastard. Question number 3. Again, this is a world record, and this is your last ever Dwayne's quiz question.
Dwayne's quiz.
The most canned drinks opened in 1 minute by a parrot. Yeah, curveball.
By a parrot.
Yeah.
Oh, pretty Polly. Oh God. In a minute.
In a minute.
I think they got a game here. I'm gonna go 100.
35.
Oh fuck!
You went too hard. Because I think 35's good for a human. Never mind a parrot.
Yeah, but I thought maybe if you could train a parrot.
Well, Dean, that's it. You got 1 point.
Oh man, I'm so happy with 1 point.
Congratulations. Your prize is. What can your prize be? What do you want as a prize?
Well, you bought me a Subway before, so that'll do.
Congratulations.
A Subway. So now it's time for
Ginger Wisdom. Ginger Wisdom.
Okay, Ginger Wisdom.
Yeah, I've
episode 10.
missed this as well.
I bet you have. All right. Listen to these. All right. Couple of quotes, run-in quotes, very specific now. I want to hear your thoughts. Here we go. Most people never run far enough on their first wind to find out they've got a second. What do you make of that? Most people never run far enough on their first wind to find out they've got a second. Talk me through it.
So I'm thinking most people never run far enough on their first wind to find out they've got a second.
Yeah.
But that's got to be like people who are on early doors running, yeah?
Not necessarily. Explain yourself.
So, because it makes me think of people who just give up.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you don't have to be a novice to just get used to getting tired and giving up.
So it's saying that most people don't push through to get that second burst of energy, yeah?
Yeah. So you say there that it sounds like novices or beginners or whatever. So you know the other day when we did 20 miles
Yeah.
and I wanted to stop at 13,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have said that I was a novice for stopping at 13,
No.
but I didn't... Most people don't go, oh, that's tough, but I will have a second win. So no, most people don't push through it. They go, oh, that's as much as I can do.
Yeah, I see. It's not very inspirational, though, is it? It's just...
Do you not think it's inspirational? I think that's going, hey, listen, just because you're tired doesn't mean you can't do it.
But just say that then. Hey, listen. Right, hey, listen. However far you're going to run,
Yeah.
just keep going.
Just fucking do it.
Keep at it, kid. Keep at it, fella. And you'll get there. You don't need to... Because, again, I feel like they're all sort of passive-aggressive.
Right.
Most people don't run till they get the second wind. I think there's no need for that. I think it should be more of a letting us know, hey lad, just if you're going to start running, why don't you just keep running until you get your second wind?
But that's easier said than done. This is putting the power back to the person. This is saying, it's all right. Me and you saying, if you get tired, you will then be able to push through and do more. It's saying that if you have only ever run to a degree where you then want to stop and have stopped, you have never experienced the fact that you get a second wave.
Yeah, but I think instead of it focusing on the people who don't do that, it should focus on the people who do that.
Okay, do.
I think you should put a point. It should be more of a fact of people of what to expect.
Right.
So you're gonna struggle, but instead of giving up at the struggle, keep going and you'll feel better.
Yeah.
That's what it should be, rather than because it feels slightly negative.
Okay, fine.
That's what I'm saying.
So you don't like this one?
Tell me what the second one is first.
Okay. You don't have to like one or the other. You can hate all of them.
No, I don't like that one then.
Fair
I feel
enough.
like it's too negative.
Fair enough. This one is shorter, sweeter. Are you ready?
Yep.
There are no traffic jams along the extra mile. Ooh.
Wait.
He's got his eyes closed. He's searching.
I am searching. There are no traffic jams
along the extra mile.
No.
What do you think? Explain it to me.
So, I think the extra mile is the hardest mile in everything. In running, in life, in being nice, cleaning.
Kindness. Yeah.
I think it takes...
Fucking cleaning. Everything's back to hoovering with you.
It takes more effort in everything to go the extra mile. So why are there no traffic jams? I don't understand. I can't. It's like two different thoughts.
Yeah.
It should be the extra mile is the hardest, but the most rewarding.
Right.
What's it talking about traffic jams for?
Well, I don't necessarily understand this either. But what I got from it was there are no traffic jams along the extra mile, i.e., nobody else is doing the extra mile. So it's free and it's yours. Does that...
Yeah, okay. But again, it should be focusing more on getting us to do the extra mile.
Right.
So
Is that not an incentive, though? There's no traffic jam. Go do it.
No, because if someone said to me there's no traffic jams on the extra mile, I'd go, what the fuck are you talking about, you dick?
Right.
So I'd go, okay, if you want to go the extra mile, no. You should go the extra mile.
Yeah.
You'll feel good. I'll feel good. We'll all feel good.
We'll have a group hug.
Yeah.
Just go for an ice cream.
They're too cryptic. They're too cryptic, and they're not... There's not enough...
He's rubbing his head now.
...pleasure out of it. There's no pleasure in that. There are no traffic jams in the extra mile. Nah, I don't like either of them. That's been a bad week.
You're not having it?
No. I feel like it just needs to be a bit more straightforward. My end game with everything in life is for us all to be better humans, right?
Right.
So I think if we can find a quote,
Yeah.
an inspirational quote that makes people better humans by going... So, because going the extra mile is a good thing to do in everything. Being nice, saying thank you at a till.
Yep.
You know, asking how your day is. That's going the extra mile. So, okay. Go the extra mile. Do you know what? Go the extra mile, we'll all be better humans.
Right.
Wallop. Done.
Is the wallop included, or is that a separate thought?
No, included. Go the extra mile, we'll all be better humans. Wallop.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
And we're out.
So that's it. We're gonna wrap it up there.
Yep.
It's been a long one, just because it's been a while since we've kept a lot of shit bottled up that
We've not spoken to anyone for 4 weeks.
Yeah, we've needed to get it out. It's Tuesday today. We go to Madrid on Friday, and the marathon is on the Saturday.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. It's going to be another hot one, though. The weather's saying 22 degrees, which makes me a bit nervous.
Yep, but no heroes. We'll get through it. We'll have a lovely time.
Yeah. When we get back, we're going to record a Madrid special. We're going to talk about, the build up to it and the race itself and the shenanigans after. So we'll do that at some point because we land back on the Tuesday, don't we? So
yeah, so it probably won't be for maybe a couple of weeks after this one, but we'll keep you up to date for sure. We're going to try and record some stuff whilst we're out there as well. It's going to be a different quality because we're not taking all of this shite.
Yeah.
But we're going to try and...
Not with Ryanair.
Ha 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 ha. But we're going to...
99% of our flights land safely. That's another Ryanair flight landed ahead of schedule.
Because they give themselves 5 hours to fly to Dublin.
Yeah.
99% of our flights land early.
Yeah. Heathrow to Scotland, 14 hours.
Yeah, we've done it again.
Pat on the back. But no, we're going to try and record out there so you get a little flavour for the trip. It's myself, it's Gary, it's our friend Danny Tennant, who you've heard of from previous podcasts. But a lovely group, and more than anything, we're going to have a nice time because that is what life is all about. Gary.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll see you on the flip side. In the meantime, give us a like on your podcast platform, give us a follow, give us a shout on Twitter, let us know what you're up to, and keep tuned on there for Madrid photos and shenanigans, and probably the odd drunk tweet from me when I take over the Twitter account at 3 a.m.
Absolutely. If you miss us, there are 10 other episodes. Oh God. If you miss us, there are 10 other episodes on your podcast platform. Tell other people, do the whole thing, but have a lovely time in the sunshine, the world.
Bye.
Goodbye.